Hello, everybody out there. Welcome to Live at 5 this wonderful Monday. I'm Ryan Lee Gilbert.
I'm Beth Stevens.
And we have a great little Live at 5 for you today. Some news and a wonderful guest joining us later, Kaley and Voorhees from Prince of Broadway. Yes,
love that
super
show.
Excited to talk to her.
A little applause, please, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, of course.
But first, we have some news.
Some exciting news.
Yeah, it's summer. There's not that much news.
Exactly.
But the news we have is
It's good stuff.
It's worth it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's worth it. Will Swenson.
Yes.
Will Swenson.
Mr. Audra McDonald.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Mr. Will Swenson is coming back to Waitress.
He is.
Now, he was previously in the role of Earl in March and June, and he's coming back on September 12th at the Brooks Atkinson Theater.
Yes.
I think he might end up in the vlog. I don't know.
Yeah, he loves that show Waitress.
He loves the show Waitress.
Do. Yeah.
So he'll be with Betsy Wolfe.
Right. Super
Sugar
cool.
Butter Betsy. I feel like I have to say it. Sugar Butter Betsy.
No, absolutely. The Jersey Boys tour, which is in its 12th year of touring, that's crazy. Wow. They announced a new cast of the Four Seasons for this leg of the tour, and it's Tommaso Antico as Bob Gaudio. You have Corey Greenan as Tommy DeVito. You have Chris Stevens as Nick Massey and Johnny Wexler as the Frankie Valli. And they're going to kick off a little bit later this fall. They're doing something in Pennsylvania and then Richmond, Virginia, and then going over to cities all across the country and Canada. So
can't stop that show.
Yeah, and they're coming back to New York
Off
as
Broadway,
well.
Baby.
Yeah, so lots of Jersey Boys in
Good
your future.
stuff. We're going to go from Jersey to the Bronx.
Yes.
See what I did?
Well done. Well done.
A Bronx Tale has new stars. So Ariana DeBose, who was the Bronx Bullet, our vlogger, is leaving the show on August 30th. That's this week. And Christiane Pitts, I hope I'm saying your name right, will play Jane. I guess she previously played Denise, and Brianna Marie Bell will now play Denise.
Right.
And both of them, a little swap. Both start on August 31st at the Long Acre Theater.
Excellent.
Good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Culturalist. The Culturalist this weekend was the top 10 Harold Prince shows all of you wanted to see revived on Broadway, and your top 5 are Cabaret, which was just here. We just had some Cabaret not too long ago.
We did have some Cabaret.
Evita. Been a long time since we've had some Evita. West Side Story, Sweeney Todd, and the number one choice was Company. Could have seen that coming. Love Company.
We'll have to see what our guest thinks of that.
Yes, we'll have to. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, okay, here I go. Carmen Cusack. How much do you love Carmen Cusack?
I'm obsessed.
She's a bright star of Broadway.
Yes.
See what I did?
Whoa, wow.
I don't know what's wrong with me today. She's coming back to Fine Sense 54 Below February 8th through the 10th. I mean, this woman,
that is a
golden
must.
pipes.
Absolutely,
golden pipes.
Absolutely. And the Hamilton mixtape, we all love the Hamilton mixtape. Immigrants, We Get the Job Done, that music video that has Riz Ahmed in it and many others. That won a VMA award last night, and it was the Best Fight Against the System award. So congratulations, all of those involved.
What a name for
What
an
a
award.
name for an award,
Wow.
right? I don't quite know what's going on with the VMAs anymore, but that sounds like, well done. Any Hamilton love's good. So, that's...
You can think about that, and we will be right back with our guest.
What's up, everybody? My name is Matt Roden here from Broadway.com at the opening night of Prince of Broadway on the Broadway. And tonight I will not be asking anyone real questions because we are playing a game that I like to call The Prince is Right. I'm going to show you pictures of famous princes, and you're going to tell me who those princes are.
Gotcha.
Got it?
Okay.
Makes sense? Here we go, starting with that guy.
Prince
Who's
Harry.
Oh, that's Harry.
Harry! Prince Harry, the younger, the red, Harry the Red.
Who's that guy?
Prince Harry.
William or
One of those guys. One of those guys.
Chris, Stephen, Prince Steve.
Oh my God, that's Prince. That was my first concert ever, Prince. That's Prince.
The
Purple.
The
sign.
Prince, that symbol.
The artist formerly known as Prince.
Thank you.
Prince.
Prince.
Hey, that's Prince with the thing, Prince with the symbol name.
Well, that would be Prince, the Prince.
That's the purple Prince.
That'd be Prince,
That
of
is
course.
Prince. That is Prince, yes.
Yes.
How about that one?
I used to get his mail.
Prince?
Yeah, a whole school in Long Island wrote me lovely letters. Everyone in the class thinking they were writing Prince. Yeah.
It's a Disney Prince.
His name is...
Oh, that's Gulliver's Travels.
Aladdin?
Was he with the girl under the water?
His name rhymes with Schmerich.
Derek?
Little Mermaid Prince.
I'll
Eric.
take it.
Eric?
Yes, yes.
I forget his name, but that's the Little Mermaid. Prince Eric.
Eric!
Is that Eric?
Look at you with your Disney
And I have sons, not daughters. So what does that say about me?
Oh, that's the little prince. Le petit prince.
Le Petit Prince.
Le Petit Prince.
Oh, the little prince.
The Little Prince.
Yes!
Prince, I'm so lost on a star.
Well, I don't even know what I'm looking at.
Prince and the Pauper?
Just Little Prince. Yeah,
Little
just
Prince.
The Prince and the Poppers. Yeah, that's what it really is.
He's that evil guy who doesn't turn out to be evil, but I don't know. He's Harry Potter's nemesis and friend.
That's not a prince.
Oh! That's Prince. Oh!
Looks like Richard III, but it isn't, is it?
Voldemort or something like that? What is that? Snake? Snavelins?
Half-blood prince.
Oh, yes.
Is
that
Game of
Thrones?
No, that's Harry Prince. Fancy pants.
Another Disney prince.
It's Cinderella's prince.
Yes, also known as? Rhymes with farming. Charm.
I only know Into the Woods. That sounds like Cinderella's prince. That's all you know.
Look,
Cinderella's
that's it.
prince.
That's all you know. It rhymes with schmarming.
Charming. Prince Charming, is that Cinderella's prince?
Yes. Oh, that's Prince Charming. Yes.
Cinderella?
Yes.
Prince Charming from Cinderella? So this is Love Guy?
Yes.
Cinderella, right? That's the Cinderella prince?
Yes.
I don't remember his name, though.
You may have been called this before. Prince.
Jew face.
Oh, yeah, Prince of Frank Street.
Oh, the Fresh Prince. When Will was about 9 years old.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Boom, got that one. Nice
Fresh
one.
Prince of Bel-Air. Yes.
Fresh Prince? I like that word fresh.
In West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground. Come
So I
on,
spent most of my days
chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cooling out, shooting some b-ball outside of the school. When a couple of guys, they were up to no good, started making trouble in my neighborhood. I got in one little fight, my mom got scared. She said, "You're moving with your auntie and uncle in Bel Air." Boom, boom, boom.
I'll take that.
There's a new Best Musical on Broadway that you'll want to see again and again and again. The New York Times says, I loved it. It's a miracle on Broadway. Groundhog Day. Get your tickets today.
Welcome back, everybody, and we are now joined by Kaley and Voorhees from Prince of Broadway. Listen to that. Studio audience loves you out there. So you guys, you just opened.
Yes, we did.
So tell us how are you enjoying it? How are things? What's going on over there?
It was fantastic. This was my first Broadway opening.
Yeah.
Because I had been in Phantom.
Right,
but,
you were a
obviously
replacement, right? Yeah.
Considering when it opened.
So you had your own opening, but this was your first big Broadway opening with everybody.
It was so much fun. It's a lot of stimulus.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
It's a lot to take in, but it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
What was the first thing you thought of, like as you go up for that opening night curtain call? What was going through your head? What was?
I was trying to take it all in.
Yeah.
You know, they always tell you, remember what's happening, just take it all
take
in.
the little
Try to be
snapshots.
calm. Exactly.
Mhm.
Remember this, put it in your
Right.
mind's eye, you know,
Right.
and remember the feeling. And so I was just trying to be present, you
Yeah.
know, and in the moment and taking it all in.
Right. Well, that's super exciting. And then
hang
you
on to
came.
that
And then you
for a
came and
while.
played some games with us. You did some red carpet
I
challenge.
did,
and
I
yeah.
did.
And then had some drinks, hopefully. I know it's
Oh, I did.
good for you. That's the important part. No, but what do you? So obviously going into Phantom when you were 20, right? Is when
Yes,
you. So you had met Harold Prince. You had written a paper on him, I believe. I had read somewhere. So you were already an expert.
You are
but
correct.
how did your Prince of Broadway involvement come to be?
While I was in Phantom, I got a call from him and Dan, his assistant, just being like, "We think you would be good for this. Come on in. You know, he knows you already,
Right.
or
You've
at
been
least
doing the
of
Christine,
me. You know,
yeah.
I'd been doing Christine, so I had met him. We'd worked together. He'd given me notes and stuff, and I came in. You do the audition, the couple of callbacks, and it worked out.
Yeah.
It worked out. And
He had
I'm so
already
glad that it
described
did.
you as miraculous. So I guess it was it was an easy transition.
He's
into-
very
he's-
kind. He's very kind.
But you get to do so much. I mean, not only do you get to do more of Christine, Phantom in this, but you do get to do some West Side Story, some Showboat, Follies, Company, number one. You guys,
Company?
yeah. What do you?
I would
what's
love to
your?
see it back.
What do you have a favorite, or do they just keep interchanging at this point?
Well,
Like-
they do kind of interchange because everything is an 11 o'clock number. You
Right,
know?
right.
So it depends on your mood, it depends on how you're feeling, but it's all so much fun to perform.
Yeah.
I would say right now, I love doing Showboat with Brianna.
Right.
It's so much fun. The smiles are real, you know? So
Right.
and she's phenomenal.
And what about, like, is there a different, like, energy that you have to bring to, because when you're doing like a musical, you know, with a beginning, middle, and end, then you come to something that's a review, it's, you know, a little bit of a different energy. Was that hard for you to adjust at all to that? Were you really into that change?
It takes a little bit of an adjustment, but when everyone is as into it as they are with our cast of 9, it's easy to play off that.
Right.
So it's a little bit odd switching characters so often within the show,
right.
But as long as you kind of you do your research on it and you get the notes from Hal,
right.
and it works out.
And what do you make of these people that you're getting to work with? I mean, for your second Broadway show, you were just surrounded by, you know, titans of all, like, what at that first table read, what were you thinking? What were you like? Were you able to process it all?
It's a little bit hard to process.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But the cast is, I couldn't ask to work with better people.
Yeah.
I mean, they're.
No, you get some of the best. In
some
there.
of the best.
Of ones that we all
Tony
love.
Asbeck.
Yeah.
I mean, Brianna. Janet. They're phenomenal.
They're wonderful people, and
they're really wonderful people.
They are.
And offstage, they're wonderful people as well.
Awesome. Well, you couldn't ask for anything better than that.
You can't.
You got to live and work in Tokyo.
I did.
For a while. What was that experience like?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I've never been, but I've heard only the best things about it. Yeah, I would love to.
It's a different experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's the culture is not like ours.
Right.
But I loved it.
I've heard everyone is so polite there.
Everyone is so polite.
That's what I've heard.
There's no like eating. You know, when you're running late to someone, you're like, you're eating on the train.
Daily, yeah.
Right, exactly. There's never a day where it doesn't happen.
Absolutely.
That is not.
Yeah.
It's not a thing over there. But
did you still do that though? So you were the one getting all of the
all
girl
of the looks.
eating on this.
Look at this American on the train eating her Starbucks on the way to work. Yes,
yeah,
but
you know that's.
I really enjoyed it, and I loved being immersed in their culture. It was so much fun.
Did you notice any difference between the way Tokyo audiences responded to the show versus how audiences are responding to it now, or is it really kind of?
Oh, it's very different.
Really?
Well, because the language barrier is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So things like Showboat, or when we did it over in Japan, we did like Funny Thing Happened.
Okay.
We did a little snippet from that. The jokes
just didn't land the same way.
Right,
Yeah,
they didn't land the same way because it's a different type of comedy.
Yeah.
Over there, and we performed everything in English, and then they had scrolling translators.
Okay, gotcha. I see.
Above, like around the stage.
Right.
So everything was on like a little bit of a delay.
Right. That must be interesting to work off of.
And
like,
the first couple of times we did bows and stuff, they're very polite, so there's no secret filming, there's none of that. If you say not to film, they will not film.
Wow.
But at the
Lesson
end,
to be learned there, guys.
But at the end, they flash a little thing for the bows, and they're like, you can pull out your phones now and take pictures.
So organized, so efficient.
The funny thing about that is, you come down for bows, and there's almost no clapping. It's silent because everyone has their phones out and they're taking pictures.
Yeah.
So they stopped flashing that sign after a little while.
Yeah, let's get the clapping back. Let's keep the clapping. Yeah.
It was very odd, but I loved it.
No, that's great. That's great.
So
and is it someplace you'd go back to now to just visit and vacation? Yeah.
I would love to go back and
Very
visit.
good. Very good. Let's take a few. Anna wants to know who your favorite character is to portray in the show.
I love Christine. I love revisiting
She's
Christine.
in your heart
but
now,
as far as new ones go, I mean Maria.
Yeah.
With Tony.
Absolutely.
She,
yeah, no, that's even some praise. Yes.
It's unreal. And to be getting notes on that from people like Hal and
right.
It's
right. Well, that's a little bit of a follow. We got to this a little bit, but Alec would like to know, what was it like to work with Hal Prince? Is there a lesson that he's taught you? I'm sure many. But.
No, I mean there's many, but his life is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite part about working with him is every once in a while when he's trying to explain something or he's giving a note, he'll go off into like a story about his life or like a little weird tangent that he has. That's my favorite part of being around him because they're crazy.
Yeah, I mean, 60 years of experience and all of this. Yeah, no, that's.
But that's my favorite part.
Eddie wants you to know that you're phenomenal.
Thank you.
And can you tell us a Hal Prince story nobody knows?
This is a great one. We had it in the show for when we were in rehearsals for like a very short period of time, but Hal didn't like it, it didn't flow, so we ended up taking it out. But the glasses that he wears, that's his signature
on top
thing,
of the head,
he started wearing them not because he needed glasses, but because he was balding. And he wanted to hide the fact that he was balding, so his glasses were fake.
Just decorative.
For the first, 15 years, 20 years that he was wearing them on top of his head.
Pioneered
he didn't
the style.
actually need glasses. Honestly, that blew my mind. That's one of my favorite stories. That
it's his signature look.
Of the whole cast, we were all like, what do you mean?
Yeah, just finding department store glasses.
We were
gagged.
gagged.
Throw these.
Gagged, honey.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
And you, I read somewhere.
Don't laugh. Don't laugh. Gagged, honey. Yes.
Eddie is talking about how much he loves Aurora, Ohio. You're from Aurora, Ohio. I believe I read somewhere that it was like seeing the Little Mermaid when you were 6 that kind of like kicked off your love of singing and all of that. Do we have the Little Mermaid to thank for?
Listen, the Little Mermaid is up there for me. Disney movies. Well, my parents they didn't.
They're not singers.
They're
right?
not singers. No, they're not. Not musical. There's cars screaming,
I'm sure you're
great,
helping
which I
transform them into musical.
They are. They're much more musical theater people now.
They have an investment in it now.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Both me and my little sister ended up going into musical theater. So, but we didn't have cable growing up.
Right.
My parents were like, you do not need more than 10 channels. And so they bought us all the Disney movies.
Right. Those noisy plastic cover Disney VHS.
Yes. The VHSs to such a point where sometimes these start breaking because
you wear them out.
You wear them out.
Yep. Absolutely.
So my Disney trivia
is expert level. Do you? Yeah. Well, that's
because I watched them so many times.
And you had
nothing else to do.
And your first Phantom experience was the movie version of the Phantom, right? And then
Came
Sierra
out when
Boggess at
when
Royal
I was
Albert Hall.
Like 9 or 10. My parents took me to go and see it. Because they had seen it before, and they were like, "Oh, this is something she would like." They took me to go see it. I loved it.
Yeah.
They bought me the soundtrack.
You listened to it at night.
It gave me
Who
nightmares.
falls asleep?
I was like, yes, Andrew Lloyd Webber, Man in the Mask. You know?
No, it's just creepy dreams that must happen when you're listening to it.
I was an odd.
Dedicated. It was in the stars. It was in the stars.
Child.
Mason, you are a big RuPaul's Drag Race fan, right? From Twitter, you can tell. Mason would like to know who your favorite contestant is.
Mason.
This is a very important question.
Okay.
We're all.
This is my friend Mason Park.
This is your friend Mason. Oh, all
Played
right.
Hedwig on the tour. You know.
Gotcha.
He knows. I hate it. I see you, Mason. Who my favorite contestant is?
Mm-hmm.
Sasha Velour this season, though.
Yeah. Fantastic choice.
The wig.
Yeah, absolutely.
The rose petals.
Very invested.
I lived. But Katya and Trixie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's hard.
Adore Delano.
What a path Mason has set you on here. This is
a war path, if you will.
Right, and you something I feel like I discovered that surprised me. You're a little bit of a comics nerd. Right?
I am.
Like you had like an empty dressing room besides a picture of Wolverine. Was your one piece of decoration.
Listen.
Were you always just super into comics?
I was always into this is terrible. I was always into nerdy things. Super into Lord of the Rings as a kid.
Absolutely.
Super into Harry Potter.
Yep.
Went through a point in my life where I tried to learn Elvish. You know what I mean?
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I do. Yeah.
And that kind of transformed into a comic book thing later in life. After I got to college, I had a bunch of friends who played it. I had a bunch of friends who were really into D&D and things like that. And so, you kind of get into the world, and now it's full throttle.
Yeah.
I go to Comic-Con every year.
You have some. I saw like you took a photo with the Stranger Things.
Bought my tickets.
Yeah, nice.
I'm ready for
you have
this
some
year.
very specific. I believe you described Batman as whiny, and Superman is boring.
Listen,
that's you.
Batman is weird.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he goes through trauma.
He goes through trauma, but then he deals with it.
Yeah.
By using his money to dress up like a bat and punch people in the face.
But you're really into Thor. Thor's
I like
a good
the
one.
backstory of Thor because it ties into Norse mythology and something. I don't know. I don't know. They're all great though. I like DC. I like Marvel. I'm a little more of a Marvel
They seem to be
girl,
pulling it
but that's
off a little bit better, but that's all right. Yeah, that's.
You.
We need to have a comic book musical story. Who would you play?
Don't play with me like this.
Who would you love to
play
play in the comic book story?
I want to be the Scarlet Witch more than anything.
Ah, yes.
She's the best.
Elizabeth Olsen in the movies.
She does a great job too. But comic book Scarlet Witch is. She's next level. She's
Put it
so
on
powerful.
your vision board.
Magneto's kid, but she's part of the Avengers.
Right.
She's
deep dive. This is. I believe your friend Eric would like to know what's your favorite Raoul and Christine moment from the Phantom of the Opera.
I mean, all I ask of you. All I ask of you.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's such a obvious answer, I suppose. Other than that, I would probably say Twisted. Managers too, just because that's the first time you really get to see their true, I feel, dynamic.
Yeah.
Between Christine
and pretty early into your run, didn't you have to? Your Raoul was having a wardrobe malfunction, and you needed to kill some time, and you slipped on the stage. They love to hear about on-stage mishaps.
Listen, I have so many mishaps from just life. I'm not.
The floor was covered in fog. It's not your fault. Yeah.
I'm not the most graceful person. So do I have stories?
Anything from Prince of Broadway that you've had an on-stage mishap?
Okay. The other day, and I mean just the other day, 2 days ago, there's where the tracks are in the floor, there's obviously holes for the tracks to go, and I'm in these stick heels at the end. And we were singing the final number, which is Do the Work. I mean, you guys have seen. And at the part where everyone's walking down and taking steps on the beats, there's drums every time that we take a step. And I took a step, and my heel went into one of those traps, and I went to walk forward again, and I couldn't walk forward. So everyone else is moving forward, and I'm caught behind everybody, and I'm trying to, and eventually I just bent down and ripped my heel out of the track. The key is to stay calm. Okay? The key is to just stay calm.
Yeah.
Continue on. It's fine. It's fine. Mistakes happen. There's nothing you could do about it.
No, absolutely.
So,
That's also wanting to know, you joined Phantom of the Opera when Norm Lewis was the Phantom. What was it like working opposite Norm Lewis as it must have just
Honestly, and I don't necessarily use this lightly. It was kind of life-changing.
Yeah. Oh, I totally believe it.
From going from college acting classes and trying to figure things out, you know what I mean, and figure yourself out and your own acting style.
Because you were still in the middle of school, right?
Yes.
Like you were.
I
you
had
hadn't
just finished my sophomore year.
Right.
So to go from that to working with him.
Yeah. One of the biggest musicals of all time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to get to the one-on-one in things like Music of the Night, and the Final Lair and stuff like that, and to get to feed off of that energy, I was kind of like, oh, this makes more sense. It clicks. You know, what you learn in school is great. I suggest school to everyone.
Good training.
Good training is very important, but to get out and experience it in the real world, especially with someone like Norm, was it really changed who I was as an actor.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe another piece of advice you have for is do not drink coffee before a performance. This is
where do you hear about these?
Exactly.
You know all of my stories.
I do.
I don't drink caffeine before shows anymore because I had ordered something that was supposed to be decaf. It was not decaf. I hadn't eaten a ton of food that day. I went up for that cadenza at the end of Think of Me, and the orchestra drops out, so it's just you, which is normally totally fine. But I was so amped. I had to have hit like
a jittery
D
Christine.
sharp. It was next level.
Lesson learned.
And I was living in it, but then you come back down and the orchestra comes back in.
Right.
And you gotta fix that.
Yeah.
So So I don't drink caffeine anymore before shows. That was it for me. Fool me once.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's lesson learned.
Lesson learned.
And make sure you go and check out a decaffeinated Kaley and Voorhees in Prince of Broadway.
Completely.
Everyone go see it. It's fantastic. You'll love it. It's musical theater history with some of the best performers on the boards right now. Thank you so much for coming in and chatting with us.
Thank you so much for
go see the
having
show,
me.
and we'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks.
Yes.